Video here by Actual Justice Warrior. Ooh, I like Actual Justice Warrior. All right, let's see what they have to say on this one. The left hates Caleb Hammer. Wait, Caleb Hammer, this is the guy who does the finance audit thing, right? He does the thing about people being shit and money.
Caleb Hammer is a right-wing propagandist.
All right, let's see this here.
Caleb Hammer is a right-wing propagandist, right? Yeah, this guy that yells at poor people for, like, being poor, it's not apolitical. Because his whole entire platform is based on finding people that are struggling financially and blaming them for their problems.
Yeah,
which in individual cases seems harmless, but consistently showing stories of poor people that are struggling because they refuse to get out of bed.
This is bad optics for us. It makes it look so bad, so therefore it's bad. Don't point out the truth because it makes us feel terrible.
Does nothing but promote this fallacy. In individual cases seems harmless, but consistently
Guys,
showing
I'm gonna, sorry, I know I just paused again. I'm gonna try to rewind now because I've seen a lot of people complaining that I don't rewind after I pause. So I'm gonna try to do that. But the truth is I'm a little bit retarded, and the way that my mind works is really scattered, where like it's difficult to explain. I don't know how to possibly explain it to you, but the way I think is so scattered and it's so all over the place that basically sometimes it'll be a little bit delayed before like I hit a thing that I'm like, okay, that's the thing I have to say. I have to talk about that. And I'll hit that like in the middle of the other person speaking. And that happens to me all the time.
Problems, which in individual cases seems harmless, but consistently showing stories of poor people that are struggling because they... Julio says don't
just pause and talk. No, my point is that I finish what I'm saying. I hit unpause, and then the next thought hits me right during that, while the other person's talking. Then the next part basically connects, and then I talk about that next part that I was thinking of.
People that are struggling financially and blaming them for their
people
problems,
might not understand
which
that,
in
but just
individual
how it
cases
is.
seems harmless, but consistently showing stories of poor people that are struggling because they refuse to get out of bed does nothing but promote this fallacy that the reason there is poverty in America is because of individual choices.
So if you've been paying attention to the internet.com as of late, one of the things that you might have noticed is that Caleb Hammer and his...
This is me right here in the back. You see this right here? This is my faith in humanity right here, like embodied in this, in the background. This is how I feel every day.
show.com as of late, one of the things that you might have noticed is that Caleb Hammer and his show Financial Audit are going viral absolutely everywhere. People are going crazy over this, and the reason why is because Caleb Hammer's show speaks to a truth that we all should know is in fact reality, which is that poor people make poor decisions in the United States of America, and despite overwhelming propaganda about people struggling due to no fault of their own.
And obviously that has nothing to do, obviously, and this is the problem, guys. This is the fucking problem every single fucking time, right? Where obviously there are edge cases in which some shit happens to a person and it's an absolute fucking tragedy. Obviously. A good example of this is when we talk about abortions. They will use the, well, what about, the person who gets raped? What about them? Right? Or you're talking about trans stuff. Well, what about the intersex person that has both penis and vagina? What about them? And they'll bring this up every fucking time when that's not even 99% of cases. They always bring this up. I know it's not. Super Vegeta says rape is not the fault of child. I know, but that's not what I'm arguing. I get it. I understand. I'm totally on your side on that. But I'm basically using the retard logic, okay? So they'll always be like, what about that case, right? What about that case? It's not even what we're talking about half of the time. They will use like the 0.01% thing to basically justify the other, 99.99% of everything else. And they do it all the fucking time. Obviously, there are cases where a person is so down in his luck, person's struggling with life, and then maybe, their wife has fucking 5 kids. They have I don't know, septuplets or something. There's a guy, his wife has like fucking shits out 7 kids at the same time, and then like his mother gets diagnosed with some disease and then the father like gets into a car. Obviously, there's a case like that where a guy is like just absolutely fucking in despair, fucked. And it's like, is it really his fault that all of that shit happened at the same time? Probably not. How could you possibly have foreseen like that series of unfortunate events occurring all in a row? Obviously, there's cases like that, right? But what we're talking about is most people are retarded when it comes to like how they deal. They're irresponsible with most poor people are irresponsible with money, and they're fucking retarded. That's just the case. And then we use, oh, what about the case of the guy? Like, okay, well, what about the case of 99% of other people? And that's kind of like, it's so irritating to me, man. Like, it's so dumb. And you know what? I'm going to go look at comments later because, dude, let me tell you about the comments. Let me tell you about the comments on the shoe video, man, because I'm about to go fucking off. I'm going to go read the comments on stream. I'm going to go off on people because I was floored by the level of retardation in the comment section on that video. And there were people that said, well, Leaflit never reads the comments. And I literally read them. I just don't read every single comment because I obviously don't have the time. I'm already super busy. I don't have the time to read literally every single comment. I might miss a comment, or sometimes I might read a comment and be like, you're retarded, but then like I don't really want to reply to it with you're retarded. So I just don't reply. I do reply when I can, and I do reply. And I know several of you know that I do reply. And I try to read the comments, but I read the comments when I have a little bit of time to do that. Like when I'm like about to sleep or I'm taking a shit or something like that, then I'll read the comments, right? But I don't really have time to read literally every single one.
In reality, when you examine the books, what you ultimately end up discovering.
But you live in a major metro area of the United States. I'm not you saying you can't get a job and you're going to allow yourself to just make $1,000 a month while having 2 kids is not acceptable.
I didn't say I can't get a job.
Then go get a fucking job.
I'm going to show up for my kids. I'm going to choose to make a little bit less so that I can show up for my kids.
Sometimes showing up is they need resources.
They do.
And you are not providing.
They have everything that they need.
You are choosing not to work, so the taxpayer is giving you food stamps.
I'm not choosing not to work.
Yes, you are.
I do work.
Come on, you make $1,000 a month via your choice.
I do work.
You could go make more.
I could go make more.
Uh-huh.
Go get a job. Work 40 hours a week, 9 to 5.
I don't want to.
There it is. Government, Kansas, Missouri, take away her food stamps right now. Did you just hear that? Take them away.
Yep.
I'm not even kidding.
I will
You
say,
don't want to?
Here's the thing though, chat, is you might say like, well, she has 2 kids. What is she supposed to do? Man, and the problem is, man, like this is what irritates me, okay? Life isn't always easy. There are times in life where it's hard and you have to show up. You have to show up and you have to fucking just do your best and you have to make it work. And that's the truth. This whole like, I don't want to deal with any sort of hardship is so irritating to me. Bro.
You, that is not a choice.
Don't want to.
Huh?
I don't want to.
Then that is not fair. That is not a choice. Subsidies should be there and even more for those who cannot. You can, and you're choosing not to because you do not want to. And I knew the more and more I pushed on it, we would find out that you're doing this because you want to. Straight up, not because you can.
Why do people go on this show? That's my question. It's like it's like flies to a fly trap. Like, why do they do it? Why do they go? Does he pay them? Like, how is this possible?
ADHD? Using ADHD and autism? Yes.
It's always an excuse.
Is he able to communicate with other people?
Yes.
Okay, then I don't want to hear it.
Is that these people are, in fact, the authors of their own peril. And
Yes.
because Caleb Hammer's show not only demonstrates this.
This has been my point the entire fucking time. This is what I've been saying the whole time. Guys, and the thing is people will tell me, wow, Leaflit, you're so mean. You mean that you don't want people to like live in their hometowns? You don't want people to live in the place that they grew up? That's not what I'm fucking saying, chat. What I'm saying is that these fucking retards that everyone voted for, that all of the retards voted for, they fucked you over. Now, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to let yourself get fucked in the ass? Or are you going to get up and say, you know what? Fuck you. I'm leaving and I'll be back when I have power and I'm going to fuck all of you over. That's my point. My point has never been that you don't deserve to live in your hometown. That's never been my point. My point is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit there and pray? You're going to sit there and pray that these fucking retards that have used their power of force to steal from you, steal everything from you, are you going to pray for them to stop doing it? That's my point. That's been my point the whole time. What do you have control of right now? What can you fix right now in your life? What can you, within your own power, without anybody else's will being a part of the equation? Because you can't control other people's will. Because the people are retarded. You can't control them. The only thing you have control over is you, yourself, your own will, and what are you going to do about it? And that's been my point the entire time. And people have been saying in the comments that I'm being a fucking retard because I'm saying, oh, wow, that's so mean, Leaflit. But, you know, I deserve to live where my family is family, very Asian. My family has been here forever and I deserve to live here. That doesn't do anything. That's my point. It doesn't matter how much you say you deserve it. It doesn't fucking matter. You'll learn one day that I was right. Everyone that's saying like, oh man, Leaflit, like that is so mean. Okay, keep hoping, keep praying. Keep wishing on the star. You know, every time the comet comes by, just wish. Do a little wish. Why don't you manifest actually? Get a book, learn some numbers and manifest your fucking manifest your reality. God, bro. People don't understand. I'm literally trying to save people. I'm literally trying to tell you what you need to do. And people are like, wow, Leaflit's probably never been poor before. She doesn't understand. But bro, I worked 3 fucking jobs when I was younger at the same time. You fucking out of your mind, bro.
But inadvertently demonstrates that many of these people are actively scamming our welfare systems. He has become public enemy number 1 among the least. Demonstrates this.
Sorry, there's one more thing here. Forbidden Gabagool, thank you. As things described to the right lately, being healthy, being fiscally responsible, and bloods with big True.
But inadvertently demonstrates that many of these people are actively scamming our welfare systems. He has become public enemy number 1 among the left wing, who are now spreading all these crazy rumors about how he's a fascist, how his podcast is the beginning stage of the alt-right pipeline, and in reality, how Caleb Hammer is some kind of shill for capitalism because he dareth look at Disney adults and tell them that they shouldn't be spending all of their money on going to Disney World when they're tens of thousands of dollars in debt.
That is just an absolute sign.
Question from chat. PX says, how do you schedule multiple jobs? You don't sleep. You sleep 4 hours, you go to the next job. You work part-time at one job, you work at the other job. In fact, like at one point, one of my jobs offered me overtime, so I quit the other job so that I could just work overtime at the other job because I got paid more. Yeah. And I'm not saying that that's ideal. And here's the thing, is people will be like, wow, Leaflit, is that what you're advocating for? People to work fucking 3 jobs. No, I'm not fucking advocating for that. I'm saying that these fucks have ruined everything. These fucking entitled, these bitch ass entitled people have ruined everything. And I'm not about to take it lying down. That's what I'm saying.
Of immaturity, just immaturity, that we're choosing to be Disney adults over an adult, making it a single adult decision of just paying a bill. You're choosing to be a Disney adult.
I wouldn't say I'm a Disney adult.
You literally just spent $2,000 when
I go along with what she does.
What, you can't speak up? Are you not able to
I
have
was
opinions
okay
of
with
your
it
own?
though. I
there
wanted
you
to
go.
go.
So you're an enabler and you did want to, so you're a Disney adult.
Dude, I love this guy, dude. This guy just holds people accountable, and I fucking love it. He's not buying into any of the emotional bullshit. He just tells them exactly how it, dude. This guy is a fucking absolute legend, Giga Chad.
And this is what I want to talk.
So you're an enabler and you did want to, so you're a Disney adult.
And this is what I want to talk about.
This guy is literally me, by the way. This guy's literally me.
Enabler and you
lately.
did want to, so you're a Disney adult.
And this is what I want to talk about today. I want to go over Caleb Hammer a little bit and the backlash against him. Spill the tea, if you will. Sip the tea, if you will. I don't know why I'm talking so much about tea, possibly because this video is brought to you by Lions Tea Exchange. More on that later after I have myself a little sip of this.
Nice. I love tea. I'm having tea too.
So for those of you who are unaware, friend of the channel, Sydney Watson, has actually started her own tea company. It's called Lions Tea Exchange, and I have to be perfectly honest with everybody out there in the audience. Normally, when people start selling tea or coffee, I get a little bit sketched out, but the product should speak for itself, and it's actually really good. Now, of course, Sydney does the organic thing. Everything is high quality. Even the packaging of these particular products looks absolutely amazing. Makes a perfect gift, by the way, for the holiday seasons. And she has a bunch of different flavors, including your standard, normal, basic bitch flavors, like your Emerald Green, your Earl Grey, your New York Breakfast.
Organic is a scam.
And of course, she has
not really. Organic isn't really necessarily a scam. It's just basically a trusted proof that it is organic. So the thing is things can be organic without having the label of organic, because in order for something to be labeled organic, it has to go through like a rigorous testing process where they have to send people there and like make sure it's actually like certified organic. And that's why it costs so much money, is because they have to pay for all of this like bullshit, right? Not to mention that like creating the product is harder because you have to deal with, like pathogens and shit, like in the things that would affect the plants. You have to deal with that. So it's just a huge pain in the ass in general. But some people do things in an organic way. They just don't have the seal of approval of it because you have to pay for the certification of it. All organic is, when something says that it's organic, is just basically a seal of, it's like the Nintendo seal of approval. It's like it has been checked, basically. That's all it is. You pay for that, which is like expensive.
Bunch of more artisanal blends. Now, this would include your peppermint white chocolate. This would also include her apple cider flavor, which, by the way, is amazing. And the one that I have right here that I specifically tried.
It's not a marketing ploy. It's not a marketing ploy. It's a certification that it is produced in a certain way. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because like if you want to buy stuff without pesticides, without non-GMO, raised naturally with no growth hormone bullshit and stuff like that, then you as a consumer, you're entitled to be able to purchase that kind of thing and to know that is for sure that, right? And there's other ways you could do it. Like you can go to like harder ways to do it. You can go to a local farm and you could be like, hey, do you produce your stuff under these standards? And then the farmer goes, yeah, I do. And then you just buy it from them. And they don't have the organic certification, but they produce it like in the same way anyway. It just doesn't have the proof that it is. Basically, what the organic seal is it's like it is taking your research and your trust and putting it into the people that certify something organic. That's all it is, basically. That's all.
Because I didn't think I was going to like it, which is the root beer flavor. And all I have to say about this thing is that this does things to my brain that I can't quite explain. As soon as I opened the package for this, I was greeted with like an aromatic blast of root beer smell. So then I end up mixing up and making the tea. And every time I sip...
Dude, what is going on? Why do I keep getting... Like, are these like Nyara people? Like, what are these fucking crackheads? Like, there's so many crackheads in Kick Chat now. Where did they come from? Oh, they got banned. Oh, I wanted to talk to them. Oh, well, it's okay. I love if it was later at night, I would have loved to talk to them, honestly, like for reals. I love talking to those people.
This?
Am I crazy, chat? I just love talking. I love talking to them. I love talking to the crackheads, it's fun. It's entertaining to me, So I get a little bit of, I have a little fun, have a little fun with it.
So then I end up mixing up and making the tea, and every time I sip this, I genuinely am confused by how this works, A, and B, how it tastes like root beer and gives the feel of root beer, but also is hot like a tea. Clearly and obviously, Sydney Watson is some kind of demonic witch, but you know what?
Well,
She used her magical forces in order to make a good cup of tea, so that's why I'm recommending it. Now, for you guys out there in the audience, I've negotiated a 10% discount if you use promo code AJW at checkout,
Nice.
but I really want you to understand that I'm recommending this because I think it makes a great gift. I think it's absolutely delicious. It is high quality materials. And by the way,
Maybe I'll
I've
try
taken
it.
no compensation for this ad read other than the samples that were sent to me. I do not get a commission or anything of the sort. I think it's great, so I'm recommending it to you because I think you guys would actually like it. In addition to that, I will also point out that Sydney Watson is currently running up against her holiday deadline, and since she packs the boxes herself and has showed me photos of everything being stacked up in her home, I thought it would be really funny to run up right against her deadline, which is in a couple of days, to get everything out for the holidays, and we flood her with orders so that way she is even more swarmed and maybe considers not packing all the boxes herself individually because obviously it is overwhelming. Basically, what I want you guys to do is put this lady out of commission for a couple of days, bury her in labels, and then laugh about what happens while getting yourself a good cup of tea. So that's lionsteaexchange.com. Use promo code AJW for 10% off. Again, makes a great gift. Highly recommend. That is lionsteaexchange.com. Let me sip this one more time.
Not only does he spread this right-wing line, but he also does so in a way that explicitly appeals to right-wing propagandists, LGBT debt. God, I wonder who's gonna connect those two. So I know that every single episode there is plausible deniability that his goal isn't to blame poor people for their problems, or maybe this individual could do better. But collectively, and his editorial choice to consistently bring them on, is pushing the political line.
Have you considered that it's because those are the people that are the most irresponsible? Have you perhaps thought about that being the thing? Have you perhaps thought about that people that do business in general, or people that are better with their money, wouldn't be a good fit for the show? Have you considered that? Yeah, let's bring on some people that are fiscally responsible into a show about fiscal irresponsibility. Why didn't I think of that?
If all you are shown of stories of poor people are not people that got screwed over by a system, or people that are really trying their best and just can't make ends meet, but are stories of people that are struggling because of choices they made or came from privileged backgrounds, which by and large is what Caleb Hammer is showing. And especially if you are given the emotional outlet that he gives to yell at or demean or diminish these people, there is no way that's not reflected in your politics.
So when you look at all these different videos that are criticizing Caleb Hammer from a left-wing perspective, what you ultimately end up realizing is that the thing that these left-wing ideologues hate the absolute most is the idea that you will see yourself as responsible and accountable for your own life, because they know for a fact that if they can sell you on the idea that you are a perpetual victim of circumstances outside your control, that actually makes you easier to control, because essentially they are all—
He fucking gets it, chat. It's all about, like, not allowing yourself to be a victim, and that doesn't mean that things will be easy. That doesn't mean that life isn't hard and that shit isn't fucked up. It doesn't mean any of those things. It just means taking control of your own destiny, because you can't do anything about it. Well, you can't do anything about it now. You can later, maybe, if you want to, you know, go hero mode and come back with what you've made and help out other people. You can do that totally. You see it happen a lot with people that have like charity and like, you know, church charities and stuff like that. It's like people always help out. People do help people out that are in trouble all the time.
Offering to replace your fictitious overlord with themselves as a more benevolent overlord. And by the way, what we've seen time and time again is that when these policies that these lefties end up advocating for are implemented, guess what? Things get significantly worse.
You know what the problem is, chat? This is the problem. And I'm going to tell you straight up. And if like you still don't believe me and you still think I'm full of shit, and that, let me tell you something. Like, this is honestly the most honest thing I could tell you, okay? If you're mad at me for talking about how destiny is in your hands, You're the one that has control over your life, and you have to control what you can control. If that makes you mad, you don't hate me, you hate yourself. That's the truth. That might hurt to hear, but you fucking hate yourself, not me. You're just hating me because you're looking in the mirror, basically. And what I'm talking about, you feel that in your heart, and that's why you're mad at me.
End up advocating for are implemented, guess what? Things get significantly worse for the people that they're trying to help.
Because so many of the beliefs that Caleb expressed are taken as so commonplace and mainstream in American society, it may not seem like an ideology, but it very much is one. It's just one that we're like all fed from birth. It is just that the propaganda machines in these imperial core nations, which I grew up in it, I felt it, I understand how extremely powerful they are. They are so effective, overwhelmingly powerful, and leads to things where Caleb Hammer can make some of these statements where it's not actually challenged by any of thousands of people watching. People just uncritically accept it.
Now, one of the common themes about the criticism of Caleb Hammer that you will see across the internet.com from a left-wing perspective is people saying that because our society...
Then make your own videos and press them in the same way that Caleb does, and let's fucking watch it. Let's watch it. Go make it. Go find a person that like life completely fucked them over and press them as hard as Caleb presses those people, and we can all see it ourselves. Do it. Make it yourself then. The hell?
Is so warped and so right-wing and so already heading towards fascism that Caleb Hammer's beliefs might actually sound reasonable and not even all that political. You might actually think that he's not making a political statement when he says something like, you should spend less money than you take in. You should probably not blame everybody else for your own personal problems, and in addition to that, you should also, not be a child and say because you want something, you should therefore automatically get to buy it or finance.
God, this is what I've been saying the whole time. Thank God.
It because you want something, you should therefore automatically get to buy it or finance it in all these different crazy ways, because that is not what adults do.
And like, I just want to be clear that not everyone is perfect, and we all fall to these things. I have in the past. I've told you guys about things I've done in the past that were irresponsible. I'll give you a good example. I had some savings, right? So like when I started working, when I was like working on video games and stuff, I had some savings. So I saved up a little bit of money. I blew all of it on retarded shit. Truly I did. And it was terrible. Like I spent, and this is when I didn't have any money. I wanted, it was my birthday, and I wanted Brynhilde really bad in fucking Fate Grand Order, and I spent $800 trying to get Brynhilde. It was a huge waste of money. It was retarded. I didn't even get her, by the way, because there's no pity back in the day. Like Fate Grand Order didn't have pity, so I got absolutely just fucked. And like I had sunk cost fallacy, and I was like, I'm gonna feel terrible if I don't get her, so I have to keep rolling, otherwise I'll just feel worse. And I just kept going, and I streamed it, by the way. This is the funny thing, is I streamed this like many years ago. This is when Brynhilde came out on JP. I don't know what that date was, but it was a long time ago. Brynhilde came out on JP. I was streaming it, and I was streaming my rolls, and I kept rolling, and it got to the point where, you know how chat normally eggs you on, and chat goes like, oh yeah, roll more, Leaflit, you gotta keep rolling, right? They got to the point where they were telling me to stop. Like literally everyone in chat was like, stop, like Leaflit, you need to fucking stop. Like this is not good, right? And you need to stop. Like it's time to stop, right? And I ended up stopping and not getting Brynhilde. And I was very depressed. And I had realized, like I looked back on it and I was like, man, that was so stupid. Like that's money I could have spent on groceries. That's money I could have invested. That's money I could use for, starting a business or something like that. And I spent it on a fucking anime waifu that I didn't even get. And it was terrible. I felt bad about it for so long. And I didn't even tell my mom about it. Like I was, man, it was so bad. And yeah, it was irresponsible. It was very irresponsible. I spent all of my money on it. All of the money I had saved up. I wasn't working at the time. I wasn't working at the time, so I didn't even have any income. and I had blew all of my savings on this shit, and it was an absolute fucking stupid move. It was retarded. And I did it because of my feelings, because I wanted it. I felt like I needed it, and I didn't really need it. Like you go back and you think about it, you don't really need it, right? But you delude yourself into thinking that you do, and that's gonna make you happy, right? It's the temporary, like, it's gonna make me feel good now, so I need it now, right? It's a very short-sighted way of thinking, and like, you know, even I was a victim of this. Like, when I speak about these things, I speak about them from experience. Like, it was not good. It was bad. And like, I look back on it now and it's like, man, that's fucking embarrassing. You know? Yeah. Anyway. As Yoda once said, your thoughts betray you. Yeah, true. That's true. And so what I'm saying is, like, you might have fucked up in the past. You might be fucking up right now, but it's not too late to fucking take control of your life. Basically, this is my point. Is that if you keep wallowing in like the mistakes that you've made, you're just gonna be fucked forever. You have to like figure out a way out of it, basically. Like, you're gonna get life puts you into positions. You're gonna have moments where you feel like you're rich. You feel like the world revolves around you. You feel like you feel powerful and invincible. You're gonna have moments like that in your life. You know, when you go out and, you know, it's your birthday, you're gonna splurge a little bit, spend a lot of money on food that you don't really have, but you know what? Treat yourself, right? You're gonna have moments like that where you treat yourself and you feel like royalty, you feel on top of the world. And then you're gonna have moments where life just takes a fucking diarrhea dump on your face. And shit is fucked and everything is fucked. And you're like, oh God, like, what the fuck do I do? You're going to have moments like that as well. And the point of what I'm saying is, if you stop at I'm fucked and you don't learn and you don't try to do what's within your realm of control, you're just like a fucking leaf that got thrown in a river and you have no control. You're just fucking, you're drowning in the river, basically. You have to like have the presence of mind to be like, okay, I'm going down the river. This is a fucked situation. Let me enter the zone for a second and see everything around me. Okay, there's a rock over there. There's a stick over there. I can grab onto that stick, and maybe from that stick, I can combo to the rock, and then I can use that rock to like shelter me from the current. So then that will give me enough to like climb onto those rocks, which will get me onto the shore. And it's like, that entire process is not fun and it's not fast, right? But the other option is to go all the way down to river until you hit the waterfall and then fall off the other side. That's my point.
That's what children do, and different crazy ways, because that is not what adults do. That's what children do. And these people say this guy, by the way, opened his video with this point with a straight face while trying to convince you that they're not the crazy one. They're not the one with the radical beliefs. Everyone else in society, like 95% of society, who finds these to be apolitical and not far right at all whatsoever, are in fact being indoctrinated by the far right and are extremely political. They just don't realize it. Again, if your position is Caleb Hammer sounds normal and reasonable to most people, not because he is normal and reasonable to most people, but because most people are indoctrinated by the far right, then maybe, just maybe, you're on the far left and you're one of those crazy people who sees everybody who is to the right of you as far right. Does that thought ever approach any of these people? No, absolutely not. Time and time again, you hear in all of these critique videos excuses, nonsense stacked on top of nonsense, and this is all because these left-wingers want to basically gaslight you into the worldview that in reality they're not the radical.
That nothing's
society
their fault
is radical. Society is terrible, because again, they want you to avoid looking within yourself and accepting individual responsibility.
You have to understand, this is where the mentality comes from, by the way, of my situation is so fucked. These people are keeping me down. So if I steal from them, it's okay. It's like it's an absolute it's an absolute spiral into depravity, basically.
And this is a common thing among all of these different videos. Look at this person talking about how, oh, the student loan system is responsible for people being in debt.
Just went down a rabbit hole looking at this Caleb Hamer guy's content. Is he a right-wing psyop? It seems like he's specifically targeting millennials and Gen Z and telling them that it's their fault that they're poor. And, you know, sometimes it is, but also you need to acknowledge that the world that we were handed isn't the world that our parents promised us. He's a boomer in a millennial's body. I'm half expecting him to say that everybody's broke because of avocado toast. It's really gross.
Avocado toast is pretty fucking expensive, bro. Why are you eating it? Like, I mean, how much are you spending on avocado toast? You're spending like $10. You go to the fucking cafe, it's not even $10. $10? Are you fucking kidding me? It's, if you're living in the city, it's probably like 15 for an avocado toast, right? Do you really need that? Why don't you just fucking make it yourself? You know what I mean? Like, why don't you make it yourself? Or like, why don't you eat something cheaper? Like, do you have to eat avocado toast every day? Like, man, I would really love to eat a lobster roll every fucking day. That sounds really good. Damn, I eat hot pot, Wagyu hot pot and lobster rolls every day. Damn, I wish I could do that.
Gross to judge people for taking out student loans when they were 18 years old just because you didn't.
Also, Ragnar, thank you for the bits. It's easy to hate the rich, but do you have the strength of personality to hate the poor? True. So true.
Toast. It's really gross to judge people for taking out student loans when they were 18 years old just because you didn't have to.
Now, one of the things that's hilarious.
Wait. You don't have to. You just don't go to college. Who the fuck said you had to go to college? Oh, right, society. My bad. You know the saviors, the leftist saviors that tell you that you have to go to college. Right, true.
Hilarious about guys like this that are mad at Caleb Hamer for criticizing people for going into debt for all the stupid things they go into debt for is they don't do any research, but they speak with such authority on the issue. Anybody can look up that part of Caleb Hamer's story of getting educated about finance had to do with the fact that he was in a massive amount of debt, and most of that debt, or a huge portion of it, was student loan debt. But this guy just makes up that Caleb Hamer never had to do that.
Not
he
even
had to
right
come from rich parents. He's the evil bad person.
Classic.
When in reality, what we see time and time again is the people who have everything handed to them in their lives from their parents typically express this guy's worldview, the it's nobody's fault worldview, the I didn't earn anything, so I assume nobody else earned it worldview. And
the thing is, though, is it is a constant battle against human nature. It is human nature to not blame yourself. It is of the monkey to not externalize like the blame, because it helps your ego. It's good for your ego, right? It feels good to like be like, oh, nothing's ever my fault, right? But every single person, everyone, I fall for it. Every single person here has fallen for this at some point in their life, and they will in the future. I will still fall for this. Every single person does. And I hate to throw you under the bus, Rognar, but even Rognar experienced that recently. And I think Rognar is a very, very, very smart person who is very well grounded. I think he's a little brash, I know, but he's very, very, he has pretty good presence of mind in general, right? But everybody falls to that, where the tendency is to be like, how did everybody around me fail versus what could I have personally done better? And this happens all the fucking time. It doesn't matter. I will fall for it probably. When's the last time I fell for it? Basically, a time that I fell for it recently is in the issue where I trusted people I thought who were my friends, and I blamed them for I would blame them for, you know, betraying me or whatever, right? For not caring about me in the same way I cared about them. But see, you can also internalize that and be like, what mistakes did I make? Why was I even their friend in the first place when I could have realized very easily that they were that type of person? Does that make sense? Have you ever faced racism ever? Like overtly, like once. I'd say like one time ever. I've had like one person. Like, I mean, it depends on your definition of racism. Because it's like my friends telling me to go try to bomb the harbor. Is that fucking racist? Because I don't really care. It's just funny. Like me and my friends do that all the time, right? It's like, yeah, why don't you go try to bomb the harbor? Like, it's like, why don't you go try to bomb the harbor? Well, why don't you go try to cross the border, bro? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, like, we just fuck around. It's like not a big deal, you know? So I don't know what you mean by that. Like, if you mean like a person that was like literally like didn't give me a job because I was like, wait, actually, wait a minute. There was one case actually. There was one case. I worked at a, okay, I don't really think it's really racist. It's more a product of a stupid societal thing that we set up where I was working at this place and I was doing really, really well. I was one of the best workers at this place, but they didn't give me a promotion specifically because I didn't speak Spanish. So like, is that an issue of skill or is that an issue of race? I don't know. Right? Do you see what I mean? Like, it's kind of, it's confusing. It's because I wasn't Mexican. Right? So it's kind of like, I don't know. Right? Like, they would always hire, like, they would always, like, promote Mexican people because they also spoke Spanish. So it's, like, it's kind of difficult, right? Yeah, I don't know. But you want to know what happened to that job, though? I fucking quit. And I got paid more than another job. That's what I did. I said, you know what? Fuck you. And my boss was like, you can't do that. You can't just quit like that. I said, oh, yeah? Peace, bitch. And I just walked out. Yeah. What's he going to do about it? And then I got paid more working at, like, literally the next place. In fact, I had already had the job, like, ready. Like, I had it, like, kind of set up where my other job was, like, willing to pay me overtime. And so I was like, why the fuck am I working here? I'll just work over there too. I was working 2 jobs at the time, right? This was like during that era where I was working like 2 to 3 jobs. I only worked 3 jobs for a short amount of time, but I worked 2 jobs like for a long time, right? Yeah, and this is during that.
Worldview, the I didn't earn anything, so I assume nobody else earned it worldview, and that is the champagne socialist worldview. Now look, the student loan system is flawed. We talked about it on this channel multiple different times, but in reality, because a system is flawed, that doesn't necessarily mean that you use that as an excuse in order to have piss poor behavior when engaging with that system. Now, I've talked about this before on this channel, but I only bring it up as a counterexample to what was presented by that individual right there. But when I was 19 years old, I was interested in going into culinary school. So I visited a campus that I will not name, Culinary Academy of Long Island. And one of the things that I was so
Wait, did he say the one I will not name, and then he literally names it right after?
I was interested in going into culinary school. So I visited a campus that I will not name, Culinary Academy of Long Island. And one of the things that I was so off-put by, again, at 19 years old, was that as soon as I showed up for this campus tour, the first place that I was taken was to the financial aid office to find out not only how much I can borrow in order to attend for a semester, but also to find out how much my mother could borrow as well. And wouldn't you know it, the exact amount that me and my mother could borrow combined was exactly what the school costs for like a year or 6 months, whatever the length of the program was. Now, when I said I don't like the idea that my mom would have to borrow on behalf of me in order for me to go to culinary school when there is no real guarantee that I will be a successful person post the graduation of this culinary school, something amazing happened again in that financial aid office. The person that was sitting across from me told me, well, a part of your $18,000 in tuition is this knife kit that you get. And they actually brought and sprawled out the knife kit. It rolled out flat. And she said, this is an over $300 value that you actually get to keep for free just for attending this school. And I looked this woman dead in the face and I said, The school costs $18,000. This is a $300 knife kit, according to your estimation. Who the hell would make that trade? That's absolutely insane. And in that moment, I realized that I was in a campus that was set up for dumb idiots, for absolute doofuses that think spending $18,000 and getting something that costs $300.
Dude, this is literally like, you know what they literally did to this guy? They literally said, it's going to cost this much money. And he's like, but that's a lot of money. And they're like, oh yeah? Jingly dingly, jingly dingly, jingly dingly. Don't worry about that money. Look at this. It's so shiny.
$100 for free is a good deal. And in reality, what I learned watching Financial Audit is that this is basically the mindset of everybody who's on that show.
Yeah, well, Disneyland. And it was only going to be for like 4 days. But then...
Okay.
Yeah, so then
is.
My schedule came out. I didn't work the first 2 days before. And it was the same price. Like the hotel was $40 a night. And then the flight was the same price.
And $200 for Oogie Boogie Bash?
$189, yeah.
Uh-huh. Plus food while you're there.
I'm going to try to hit up a taco truck.
Sure.
Trucks, free breakfast buffet.
We know you love the buffets.
Now, I don't expect every...
Bro, that's fucking savage, dude. Holy shit.
18 or 19-year-olds to understand that student loan debt is something that can't be discharged. I don't expect them to all have good impulse control and make the best choices. But in reality, when you see these people on this program, what you ultimately end up seeing displayed time and time again is people willfully embracing these terrible choices and honestly patterns of behavior that I grew up around that I fundamentally reject, like borrowing extra money in order to rent a better place while you're in university, which again is somebody who's trying to take advantage of a system that is later on going to play victim and ask for a taxpayer bailout. And no, I'm not in favor of that, no matter how many times you tell me about the sad sack life and the sad choices that this person was presented with at age 18.
True.
In reality, you should be informed on the contracts you sign. You should know the terms, and not knowing the terms doesn't mean that you borrow irresponsibly and just have a great time with it. It means that it's incumbent on you to examine the terms, think about the price, and make better choices. But in reality, again, the people that are on Financial Audit oftentimes aren't really talking about student loans. A lot of times they're discussing car loans, like this woman right here who ended up buying a $90,000 Porsche.
You decided to get a Porsche.
Yeah.
And you can't pay for groceries? What do you think this car is worth?
And I bought it for $89, and maybe I
Life just came at her fast and hard in the form of a Porsche.
could get 90,000 for it. I don't think it depreciates as much as other cars.
It's been a Porsche, by the way.
A 21 Macan
Okay.
turbo.
You owe 65 on it. You could probably sell it for 64. So get rid of the Porsche today, dude.
What do I drive? The car that I got is pre-owned. It's not a brand new one.
So I'll spend $1,500 a month on a used car. Okay.
So this is what the left doesn't actually want you to see. They just want you to see the headline that this woman is struggling with her car payment and can't afford groceries, but they don't actually want you to examine her choice of...
You want to know the annoying thing about this, chat? This is what's annoying about it, is what does this mean? You know what this all means? This means that if you are a responsible person who handles your shit, you don't get yourself a fucking Porsche, and you are frugal with your money, you spend within your means, you are subsidizing the other people. Did you know that? You are paying for them to have that Porsche. Yep. Because money is fungible. Oh, they don't have money to spend on food. Well, we should give them money for food. Now they have money for food, so they can spend the money that they would have spent on food on other shit. And they always do this.
Vehicle. This woman bought a $90,000 car used. It was a Porsche because she wanted something nice, and she was like, well, I don't think it depreciates as much as other cars, when in reality this person should be in a $5,000 car.
Uh-huh.
Well, customer service is excellent, and it was only $20,000 more than what I paid for the Ford Edge.
I've never paid $20,000 a month for customer service before.
And those rationalizations about how the customer service at the Porsche dealership is significantly better than the other dealership that she went to does not account for the insanity of that particular car choice. And again, I will point out for you guys out there in the audience that the car that I am currently...
I have a phrase. I have a phrase for you guys. It's very important. It's a very common phrase that it used to be very common. People used to say it all the time, but we have forgotten this phrase. And I think everyone needs to hear it. It goes like this. Beggars can't be choosers. That's it. And that's it. You don't get to pick. Choosing is the right of people that have created value in society. Yep. That's it. Or, you know what? I go so far as to say it's the right of not only people who have created stuff in society, but their kids as well. Because the dad is like, I worked my ass off for my spoiled ass kid. It's too bad. It's just too bad. You don't get to pick. You don't get to pick. That's not how it works. If you are begging people for money, if you need other people's money, you don't get to pick. That's just how it is.
Currently driving right now as a successful YouTuber, as somebody who saves enough for retirement, as someone who makes a good living, cost me $30,000. And that $30,000 price tag for a used vehicle, which by the way, I bought with under...
And again, like the reason I brought up the rich kid is because people will bring this up all the time. They're like, oh, what about the rich kid? That rich kid didn't work for his money. Yeah, but his dad did. And his dad before his dad, and his dad before his dad, and his dad before his dad, his dad before his dad. They worked for it, so who cares? If I want to give my money to my kid, that's my fucking right.
10,000 miles on it isn't really the whole story, because you guys will recall that my Honda Accord was stolen from me and I got a reimbursement check from insurance that was about $20,000. So the amount of money that I put in to that car, the new used vehicle that I purchased, was 10 grand. And I can...
Because a lot of rich kids turn commie. Yeah, it's a good reason to not give it to them. I'm not saying it's a good idea. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a good idea to just give your kid a fuck ton of money. I think it's a terrible idea. And you should teach them about the responsibility of money and make them work for it first. I think it's terrible to just give your kid a blank check amount of money and just give them all that privilege, because it leads to like people being retarded. So it's like basically I'm not saying it's a good thing, but what I'm saying is that it's not anybody's business. That's my point. It's not anybody's business whether or not the dad makes a bad decision with his money.
Guarantee you I'm doing significantly better than this woman right here, who's driving a $90,000 Porsche because she wanted to have something nice and the customer service was swell when she can't afford to pay for her groceries. And these choices are reflected in...
If you think about it, almost all of this shit is based purely on jealousy and based purely on the desire to force other people to work for you. That's what it is. It is, they have things I want, I deserve that. It's they have so much, they should give it to me. That's basically it. It's forced labor. It's literally forced labor is what these people are asking for. This is like kind of what Mentis was talking about in his video before, between voluntary and forced labor, is them trying to redistribute wealth based on whatever their equity or whatever the fuck they use to justify it. They're basically forcing you to work for them. That's what it is. And that's why it's immoral. It's immoral for that reason. Far more immoral than the rich person who doesn't want to. They'll flip the script on. They'll flip the script on you, and they'll tell you that the rich person is immoral for wanting to hold on to his money and not give it for free for everyone else. But then they'll turn it around and tell you simultaneously that we should just take their money. that we should just tax the rich, take the money from the rich, right? It's actually more immoral to say that you want to just take the money from rich people because you deserve it. That's way more immoral than the rich person saying, nah, you know, I don't want to give you my money. If you think about it like that, in terms of who is forcing who to do what, you will immediately see that the theft part is actually the immoral part.
Multiple different Caleb Hammer videos. He goes over the fact that many of these people...
I'll back up a little bit, but I'm not saying that people who have more shouldn't morally help out people that are in need. I'm not saying that. I definitely think it's a good thing. It is a just, moral, good, religiously good, religiously moral thing to help people that are in need. And that has always been the case, right? My point is that it shouldn't be forced. That should be an act of kindness out of one's own heart from their own generosity. It shouldn't be something that the government pulls out a gun, points it at your head and says, give them shit or I'll kill you. Give them shit or you're going to jail. That's basically what they're trying to do with taxes. Give them the free shit or you're going to jail. No matter how you cut it, it's them using force and violence in order to force people to part with their money for their benefit, which is evil if you think about it.
$1,000 Porsche because she wanted to have something nice and the customer service was swell when she can't afford to pay for her groceries. And these choices are reflected in multiple different Caleb Hammer videos. He goes over the fact that many of these people get 7-year car notes at exorbitant interest rates, and they say that they justify this based on the fact that the payment is lower, even though, again, they're paying significantly more money over time.
How much debt do you have?
Like $168,000.
None of which is a house. Why do you have 2 car loans?
I have 2 vehicles. So it's 58 miles for me to drive to work every day, and the truck is an 8-cylinder Silverado.
Get rid of it.
I can't. I ended up getting like a really great deal on that truck.
Yeah, really great deal. You owe $60,724.55, making 24,000 hours a year. An 84-month car loan? What? 4-month car loan?
I want lower payments.
You know that's not how it works. You are paying more in interest over time. 2024 Kia Sportage. And it's $638.70. That's an insane car payment for 7 years.
I feel like 600 is a normal car payment.
Normal.
Well, I'm going to refinance it when rates go down.
Who the fuck is Leaflit?
Okay, if rates go down.
When rates go down. They will go down for sure.
What?
Yeah. If I can't refinance, then whatever. If I can, awesome.
Whatever. I have an 84-month loan. I'm going to be 40, and I finally paid off my car.
And?
You owe $39,000. It's worth $31,000.
Now, the left wants you to believe that this is all the fault of the predatory car dealerships. And by the way, some people on the right are trying to sell you on this as well.
Bro.
A lot of right-wing reaction to videos about
commies are so fucking annoying, bro. So annoying.
People not understanding the terms of their car loan, borrowing over the course of 7 years, again, according to their own choices, will respond by saying usury is a sin and we should abolish this. Again, disassociating people from their own actual actions. And the reason they want to do that is because they're trying to gain more power over you. And this is something that Caleb Hammer's show, even though it's not explicitly political, fundamentally rejects. He also ends up exposing a bunch of different scams, including scams related to disability. And this is something that the left cannot tolerate as they try to minimize and diminish welfare fraud and all these sorts of schemes throughout our society.
Caleb Hammer doesn't think veterans should get disability. It's like not even close.
Right.
Those that have been through things like an injury or war zone mental health, I want them to have money forever because they serve. But the person who's a cook and experienced nothing, and the fact that you can go to a specialist and get coached on what to say to get 100% disability, the fact that that exists should tell us something. They discredit and do a disservice to those that actually deserve the disability.
So the real reason that the left is saying that Caleb Hammer is right-wing coded or bringing people down the alt-right pipeline is because Caleb Hammer is sane. By the way, I followed him on social media. I've been looking at his different various posts, and one of the things that
I gotta follow this guy. I gotta follow this guy. What a legend.
I've come to the conclusion of is that Caleb Hammer, in a lot of ways, is similar to an Ezra Klein style abundance liberal in the fact that he wants more housing built. He's not opposed to bike lanes and public transit or anything of the sort. However, he has some limits. He's more moderate in that regard. And again, this is based on
not good enough. Not good enough. Nope. You all in or you're nothing. All in or nothing. That's how it works. That's how it works with the fucking psycho woke people. You go all in or you get the fuck out. That's how it is.
What I can see, I don't see him at all as this right-wing individual, but the left is trying to paint anybody who's saying
you either suck the whole dick or you get out of the house
as right-wing, which again should backfire and blow up in their face.
The transactions.
Remember, guys, she's not working as much so she can spend time with kids, and then she spends money so she can go to her competitive cheer. F you. Take away her food stamps yesterday. Oh my no, this is insane.
I know.
What the is wrong with you?
A lot.
Dude!
But again, let us not lose sight of the fact
Dude,
that
I gotta watch that episode.
that the
what
real
the
reason
fuck?
they hate Caleb Hammer and his success is because you're actually
Who the fuck
looking
is
at
Leaflit?
poor people and the choices that they make in the United States of America and finding out what is true for the overwhelming majority of them, which is poor people are poor because they make bad decisions time and time again. And I'm gonna
I'm
let you in.
ashamed of working for this woman. Wait, why? What did I say? What did I say, Julio? What? What did I say? What did I say, Julio? What? Why do you hate me, Julio?
And on another edition
You don't have to be, dude. Don't hate me because you're not American, bro. It's okay. It's okay. You'll get there one day.
truth that is absolutely crucial if you want to be successful in your life, even if you're in that percentage of people who are poor through no fault of your own.
Oh, because he has to edit so much. Yeah, true. You know, okay, fair enough. You know what, Julio, I'll allow it. I'll allow it. You can hate me for that, and it's true. True. I was very annoying today. Yeah. I will admit fault. See, I can admit fault. I can admit fault when I'm wrong. And I did do a great disservice to Julio by cutting this video up into like fucking a million pieces. I gave it the good old Tsubame Gaishi, you know, so fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
On another additional truth that is absolutely crucial if you want to be successful in your life. Even if you're in that percentage of people who are poor through no fault of your own, you have circumstances that were put upon you. We've all been there in certain situations. If you just focus on what you can control, if you actually treat things that you can't control and that impact you.
Wait, that almost sounds like what I was saying. This is what I've been saying the whole time. What this guy is saying is what
you
I've been
can
saying.
control. If you actually treat things that you can't control and that impact you as faults that you need to overcome, you will be far better off than if you pretend that all your piss poor choices are on everybody else. Like, again, you have people coming onto a show saying that they're poor through no fault of their own and everybody is against them, but then Caleb realizes that they're Orlando residents that pay for flights to go do things like Disney in California because Walt Disney actually walked through that resort.
You're going to Disneyland?
Yeah.
That's what you're doing?
Yeah.
Buddy, you know you live where the best Disney is.
No, that no.
The Orlando Disney is the best Disney. There is more there.
Incorrect.
There is more there.
Incorrect.
But there is more there.
The Walt walked in Disneyland.
I don't give a
We had it at Walt.
It's insane. These people are absolutely maddening, and make no mistake about it, they're on the path that they created for themselves. But of course, I want to know what you guys think about all this down in the comments below. Do you think Caleb Hammer is secretly right-wing, or do you realize that the left will paint anybody who preaches any level of sanity right-wing, even though, again, this is a guy who gave a very friendly interview to Governor Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan, which somebody who is right-wing would not normally do. As per usual, if you like the video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on the social medias. Till next time.
This guy makes really good videos. I will link it to you guys. And I do want to look at more Caleb Hammer stuff. Like, man, that's crazy.
Critical misconduct, chaos in the game. Sex pest antics driving all insane. They're that guy, the one you can't ignore. Breaking boundaries, always wanting more.